education official getting a failing grade from critics after dodging a pretty simple question about gender. Take a look.
How many genders are there? How many genders are there?
Different people have different beliefs on that.
Well, you can believe all you want, but science says there's two.
Okay, Democrats also diving deeper on this issue. AOC posting on X, this Transgender Awareness Week, we celebrate the resilience, courage, and beauty of the trans community. Your lives matter, your stories matter, and your right to thrive and exist authentically is non-negotiable. We stand with you today and every day. Let's bring in Tommy Lawrence, host of the big weekend show and Fox News contributor. Tommy, great to have you here. Seems like something perfect for you to react to, as this has been... I mean, what did you first make of the official's reaction when asked about how many genders are there?
Well, Sandra, it's a pretty easy answer, but I think there's a reason that so many Democrats will avoid this like the plague, even if their own heart and mind tells them the correct answer. And I've talked to a few Democrats about this off the record, and they told me that this comes down in large part to fundraising. The Democrats have tethered themselves to this LGBTQ issue, but they've also tethered themselves to a lot of the fundraising that's associated with it, a lot of it, of course, out of California. So many Democrats are not only afraid of the media backlash if they were to say what a woman is, that there's two genders, but they're also afraid that they're going to lose some funding or some money from some of these groups that are very well funded, especially out of California. The American people have decided how they feel about this, left, right, and center. They've decided this is an 80-20 issue, probably more like a 90-10 issue. They want the integrity of women's sports and spaces. They don't care what you do in your private time as long as you're an adult. But this has gone so far, and it's not a victimless or consequenceless issue. There are so many people being impacted, and I think the Democrats have overplayed their hand, but they don't want to lose that fundraising money, so they're going to keep going along with it for, I guess, as long as it takes.
Even though the polling shows that so many Americans believe that they've gone too far with this issue. It showed up in the Fox News polling on our last election night. Tell me, this is what the Gallup poll revealed, where the American public stands on trans policies. 69%, nearly 70% of respondents, they believe trans athletes should only play on sports teams that match their sex at birth. And similarly, 2/3, 66% say a person's birth sex rather than gender identity should be on government documents. So why are Democrats listening to where Americans actually are on this issue?
Again, Sandra, I think a lot of it goes back to fundraising, but I think that they went so far in and so deep into this, of course, in 2020, maybe 2021, 2022, where the public sentiment was a lot different, because there were a lot of ordinary folks that thought, hey, I'm all about individual rights and freedoms, I'm all about trans rights and compassion for trans people, and that's all good and well. But then the average ordinary person realized that this went far too far, and they realized that there were actual victims of this ideology being pushed, especially in schools and especially on young women and girls, and that's where you see the shift in public opinion. But Democrats do not want to touch this issue, and oftentimes they say that this is some kind of a Republican red meat issue. I would say to them, we don't want this issue to be an issue. We would like this to go away. We would like to protect women's sports and women's spaces and the integrity of those things. Democrats are going to learn the hard way, though, if they don't give this up, because the American people have spoken on it once in an election, and they're going to keep speaking to this issue. It just remains to be seen whether Democrats are brave and bold enough to ditch this issue. I guess we'll find out in the coming elections.
I'll end with a shocking headline out of Outkick. Trans-identifying male appointed to Women's Commission in Massachusetts. The governor there selecting a biological male to serve on a commission that is focused on policies affecting women and girls. I mean, this person was appointed to the vice chair of the Massachusetts Commission on the Status of Women's Programming and Planning Committee. A biological male. I'll give you a final thought on that, Tommy.
Well, I guess according to the left and the leaders in the Democrat Party, men make the best women. And that's all I can say on that.
Wow. Tommy, always good to have you. Thanks for being